Can anyone say what is API? You can unmute yourself and tell me like what is API?
Application programming interface.
Application programming interface, yes. So we use the API for what purpose? We use the API for the data exchange purpose, for the
To
communication purpose. Yes,
communicate
yes.
between the different systems.
Communicate between different systems. So using the Spring Boot, how easily we can build the REST API. Then just building the REST APIs are not sufficient, right? So just for those like who have just heard the term APIs, for them I'm just saying, I'm giving one example. Like suppose at a global level in some, or maybe at national level, or somewhere in the corner, in some corner of the world, some cricket match is going on, and I have built one software which can provide the score of that the cricket score, the live score, okay, in the real time score of the, or the status of the cricket match, okay. So that service I have built. But there are n number of applications, like someone has built some N1 mobile application in Android, someone has built some N2 application in iOS, right? Someone has built some web application. So there are n number of consumer, and they want all of them to like access my service. So what I need to do, I need to deploy my service on the internet as an API, so that everyone can access it easily, right? So this is what a REST API is. A REST API is a, it is based on the SaaS model, software as a service, right? And today's world, each of us are like focusing on building software as a service, okay. So it is REST APIs. And then we will add different capability to this REST API. Means just building API is not going to be sufficient for us. We need to access the data from the database. We need to make our API secured, right? And at the same time, we need our API to be discovered. It should be discovered using some gateway. It should be auto discoverable. So those capability will keep on adding slowly in this course, okay. Then after to that, we have to like go to the microservice model, okay. Means REST API, just building REST API is not going to be sufficient for us. From the macro service model to microservice model, we have to switch on. Why? Because, can anyone tell me like why microservice is needed? Any idea? See, let us make this course be very much, this session be very much interactive, so that means the idea exchange from both the side, it will help us to exchange our knowledge. And I should know like how much you people know, because I don't have any idea about your background. Just I have a I have faith that like you all knows Java. That's why you have joined this course. But can anyone tell me like microservice what it is, or has anyone heard of microservice? You must
Oh,
have heard, right?
hello.
Yes,
Am
yes.
I audible?
Yeah. Who is
Yeah,
this?
this is Vibhu.
Okay. Yes, Vivu. Please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Suppose you make a project, there is
Mm-hmm.
many services. Means in backend you can many repository. Suppose someone want
Mm-hmm.
to write a backend code in Java.
Mm-hmm.
Also, someone want to write a Java code. Someone write a code in Python. We can communicate a Java code and Python code by microservices.
I'm sorry, Vibhu. Actually, okay, means see, the thing is that that the kind of concept what you are telling, that is something different, okay. Like I have a Python service and you have a Java service, okay. Your
Okay.
my Java service and your Python service, or my Python service, whatever, like they can communicate with each other using some format, some protocol, right? We need to choose some data communication protocol, we need to choose some data protocol, some request response format. It could be like HTTP protocol over JSON format or XML format. So that is different. Okay. So the microservice, understood what I'm trying to say you?
Yeah.
Suppose you have made this you have made a library service, right? And as a consumer, my Python consumer want your Java service to provide me how many books you are having on from this author. So I have to send you the data on some format, some your, because your service knows that this is your service can read the data in particular format. So it could be like JSON format, it could be XML format, like that. And some protocol, means HTTP protocol, or it could be like some web service protocol, something that we have to figure out. So that is a standard. Okay. So the concept what you are telling, that is a standard between two service. But microservice, what I am saying is that, like, macro means big and micro means small. So REST API, we will build a REST API. Then after to that, some big service we will divide it into small service. Because see, suppose I am providing the book service, okay, library service is a very big one. Okay, it has like order service. We will divide the whole library service as order service, inventory service, user service, like that. Okay, we will divide, instead of like, serving so many data together. What we will do, we will break the service, big service, into small services, so that it can be easily developed, it can be easily manageable by small teams. Okay, and it can be easily scalable. Scalable means what? Sometimes what happens that order service has high demand, right? So we can easily scale up that. We can create multiple order service. Instantly we can deploy that in cloud. Okay. And sometime what happen in macro service, in traditional approach, what happens? Suppose my big service has gone down, my library service has gone down. That means all the user, they will not get any benefit. My business will have lot of uh, impact on it. Okay, it has to be a loss, right? So what I will do, instead of doing that, see, order service, I have to make it every time on. So what I will do, I'll have 100 instance of order service and less number of instances of inventory service. So one of my service, if it goes down, that is fine. I can fix the issue instantly. So scalability is one of the biggest purpose actually to build microservice, which we will go uh, in detail whenever we will learn microservices. So in short, for now, just remember that microservice is nothing but we are dividing the big services. Okay, one big service we are dividing into small parts, small services. Okay, instead of library service, I will divide that library service into book service, or maybe like inventory service, order service, something like that. So I hope might be like little bit clear to you. Okay. Then after microservice, building microservice is not sufficient for us. We need a deployment environment for it. Okay, for which we will use cloud. And this course is going to help you to learn from the fundamentals to till this cloud native patterns. Okay, till this. And then the roadmap is not actually, the Spring Boot roadmap is not getting ended here till cloud native patterns. Okay, maybe till 2024 or 25 early, like it was still cloud native patterns. Okay, but now after like this evolution of AI, uh, Spring Boot is also evolving. Okay, it is also providing various module to us. So Spring Boot has the module for building the REST API. Spring Boot has the module for building the microservices. Spring Boot has the module for deploying it in the cloud. Now Spring has provided one more module to us, that how we can integrate our Spring Boot enterprise integration with the Spring Boot enterprise application with the AI capabilities. Okay, so AI integration is the last means where it is getting ended. But due to the limited time, we are not going to cover AI integration in this course. But yeah, we may plan, means Skill Marathon may plan for with AI integration or Spring AI session later. Okay. So this is about the first slide. Okay. So here how we can go from basic to advanced. So in this session, I can tell you like I can help you in learning from the fundamentals to like how we can deploy the, how you can build the REST API, how we can secure the REST API, how we can access the database using the Spring Boot, then how we can build the microservices and how we can deploy it in the cloud. So till this, you can means you will be with me. Okay, AI integration part is not part of this course, but this is the roadmap. Okay, now I'm going to the next slide. So the next slide is telling about like how our traditional web application or enterprise application or maybe like your mobile application also. It is looking like this. Okay. Traditional web application, it is all about. So here what you can see that the client is nothing but a browser, right? The browser is accessing the data from some JSP previously, like I'm telling about this is your in the 90s. Okay, in the 90s the application, all the applications were looking like this till 2008, 2009. Most of the applications were like this. Then there was a boom actually came into the market, like all the project, means when Spring and Spring Boot came into picture, when the technology this that time 2008 onwards I'm telling about, when Spring Boot came into picture, all the traditional application they migrated from the traditional approach to Spring Boot approach. Okay. Then after to that, like we got cloud and 2019-20 onwards, all application moved to the cloud version. So that is how actually it is. Now in the slide you must be seeing that like a client or a browser, it sends request to the servlet, where servlet is containing all your logic data, request processing logic, response providing logic, right? And in the, and it was providing the response as a JSP page view. All these things you must have done sometime in your, maybe at least in your college days, right? And data exchange is like happening in the model could be like your EJB or JPA, which is like accessing the data. You can see here, right? So this kind of application, has anybody tried at least in the college days? Any response? Can I expect anyone to like tell me yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it is good actually, means that at least how the early approach was looking like, if you have some knowledge on that. Anyway, we don't need this. Okay, now we don't need this servlet, JSP, all these things. Everything actually internally it goes. Okay, Spring Boot has, means it's a wrapper. Okay, everything internally, everything is a servlet, everything is your like the plain Java only. But now Spring Boot has actually simplified our life. We don't, in the traditional application, we were installing server, right? We were installing Tomcat server or WebLogic server, some sort of server. Lot of effort we were putting in configuring the application. And believe me, like I'm telling about that late time during our, means when I was starting my career, that time it was too hectic for us. We were like, building the application, lot of configuration we were doing. We were having XML file, so lot of mapping we were doing in the servlet JSP mapping. For this request I should map my response to this JSP, like that, lot of mapping. Okay, and then you have to like make a war file, then install the server, Tomcat server, deploy it in that, Okay, and your application should be highly configurable so that the peak request can be served. And during the Christmas time, the request was so much high. Means peak time, we were installing a lot of server, and it is all like manual effort. We were installing lot of server and a lot of war file we were building. War file means this entire thing. This entire thing we were building and putting it. It was a lot of effort. But life has become very much simplified when we got the Spring Boot. Okay. So what is Spring Boot? So Spring Boot, it is your means one framework. Okay, which this framework has like a lot of popularity among the developers. It's having in fact highest popularity, I will say. Okay, why? Because you can make the production ready Java enterprise applications in minute. Means from zero to running application you can make it in minute. You need not to have that like boilerplate configuration. It eliminates that. Lot of configurations get eliminated. How it is, how that magic happens, I'll slowly tell you. Okay, it is not magic, but very much means easy, means syntax you people need to know. Okay, which will make your life very easy. Okay, so this is how our means application, current application looks like. Not even current application is all microservice. Okay, it is all microservice that you people will realize maybe towards the like last week of this session. Okay, so but yeah, in short, actually now means after Spring Boot came into picture, what we have to focus on, we have to just make the controller will take care of that, we service to invoke and all. We Spring Boot has the means using the Spring Boot we can build the controller, service, repository layer. Repository layer is something which will access the database. Okay, so all these things we will know. Okay, so I'm not saying much about this, but remember for this slide, what it is important is that Spring Boot is auto configurable. Auto configurable means you whatever bean it require. Okay, Spring detects and configure the bean automatically. Auto configuration, you just remember this word. You need not to have more like understanding now, because when I will show you the real time stuff, you can easily understand that how it is auto configurable. Okay, so for the time being, remember this word auto configuration. Spring Boot is auto configure. You don't need to write any configuration file like in the just to understand in simple word. In traditional application we were having configuration file, but here it is all auto configurable. Okay, we don't need any request response mapping. We don't need to write any request map. Means for this request one, I have to provide response one. I don't need to write that kind of mapping in any way. Spring will do that automatically. Okay, apart from that, one super capability I will say, which makes the life very much easier, is that you don't need to install any server. Okay, Spring Boot comes with a server, the Tomcat server. It is up to your choice, like which server you want to take. Is it, are you means interested for the Tomcat server or JT server or Undertow server? It is already bundled. You don't need to go for any external setup. Okay, so Spring Boot has the capability of embedded server. Okay, so mostly it is all Tomcat server only gets used. Okay, then last but not the least, Spring has starter forms. What is this starter forms? Means we don't need to like write the dependency. Automatically the dependency it will bring. Okay, how this magic happens, I will show you. This auto configuration, starter forms, and embedded server. You take a note of these three things. Okay, as I said that like whenever it is required, I'll tell you the means point to take a note. So just take a note for the timing, like auto configuration means this is a very important question, like why Spring Boot is very much popular means it is auto configuration. It has the capability of auto configuration, embedded server, and starter pumps. Okay, when you will develop the project, right? So at that time, you will have a clear understanding on this. Okay, can I move to the
Ma'am,
next slide?
ma'am,
Yes,
the
carry
I think
on.
the POM is used for the installing jar files, no?
Yes. And in the jar, we installing the jar file. So that you do using some Maven or Gradle, right?
Hmm.
Maven XML or Gradle XML, where we do what? Like suppose I need some jar file, I have to write it explicitly, right? So in the Spring Boot, you don't need to do that. You have Spring Boot starter, okay? So that will do automatically for you. So that
Where
I will show you.
I think the pom.xml file is there, and just we just write the dependency there, and all.
Dependency there, just there's a starter, it will take care. We will just give the starter version. Okay.
Okay.
Then starter version will take care of like, see, the starter version, it knows that, okay, for the database access, which jar I need, or for the it will auto configure everything. Okay. It will
Oh,
discover all the jar, dependent jar version. Means if my starter jar is 4.1, I'm just giving an example. Okay. My starter, I'm saying that I am going to use Spring Boot. Spring Boot is also providing the jar every quarter or every year, right? Means whenever they are finding some capability, they are deploying a new jar. Correct. So we don't need to worry about the jar version. Suppose I am going with Spring Boot starter 4.1 version. Okay, for 4.1 version, suppose it has dependency on 2.8 JPA version or 3.2 security version or some version, XYZ version, internally whatever it use, right? It will
yes.
automatically do that for us.
Okay.
We just need to write the starter version jar file. That's all.
Okay.
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 And then all the dependent jar version will get automatically uh, installed in your project. You don't
Yes.
need to worry about it. Okay, Tomcat, if you the Tomcat, which server you need, by default Tomcat only gets installed. Okay, automatically. But if you need JD or other server, it you have to mention it in the POM. Then auto configuration also I'll tell you. Like suppose see if I need Spring JPA or Spring Security Bin, I need Spring JPA bin. I have to just annotate my file. That's all. It will auto configure means it will load that Java bin automatically. That Spring bin will
Directly
automatically get installed.
added into pom.xml.
Exactly. No, in the
Yes.
pro mean it will create the bin. Means
Okay. Okay.
as per the requirement, it will create the bin. So that we will slowly see, okay, in detail how that magic happens. Okay. Then let me move to the next slide. Okay. Now, the next slide is telling about like what all Spring Boot competitors we are having. Okay, this is a very important question even in the interview. Okay, that's why I thought to give a slight overview of this. See, Spring Boot is not only the technology which is existing in the market, okay, which will provide you to make the backend of our mobile front end, mobile application front end, or web application front end, right? It is not only Spring Boot is not only the only technology existing in the market. It has other competitor as well, like Node.js. Okay, so suppose your company is using JavaScript. Okay, you have a lot of people who are like having the skills of JavaScript. Then they may prefer Node.js as means JavaScript as your backend. Okay, they will make all your backend services APIs in the JavaScript and they will deploy it in the Node.js. But one demerit here definitely means it will you can access the APIs. JavaScript will also like it has its module to access the data. All those things it will do like the way we are getting it in Spring Boot. But it has one demerit is that that suppose your application has a lot of requests to um, means some millions of requests to uh, serve, okay, in some second. And for such a high demand application, your application to be like, multi-threaded, you cannot perform it in a single thread mode or something like that, right? So whenever means there is a multi-thread requirement, you cannot go with this Node.js. Spring Boot is the choice. Okay. So based on the requirement, similarly, Dino, you can see in the second point, Dino is for TypeScript. If you are like having people with TypeScript skill, you can go with the Dino technology, Dino framework. Okay. Ruby on Rails. Dino is for TypeScript. The negative thing over here is that it means multi-threaded application you cannot make with this Dino. Ruby on Rails also like asynchronous. If you have the demand of asynchronous application, so you may not rely on Ruby on Rail for your backend. Okay. Asynchronous, right? Single thread, multi-thread, then this asynchronous. Can anyone say me like asynchronous? What is asynchronous communication? Synchronous communication, asynchronous communication. What is the difference?
Ma'am, asynchronous is like when you are sending any message, you are not receiving any acknowledgement. In synchronous communication, you receive the acknowledgement.
Yes, means immediately. If we send a request, immediately that has to be responded. But asynchronous communication, you are just parking your request and then based on some process, mean it has dependency on some other process. Mean there are some 2-3 processes are involved, right? If all of them ready, then only you can get the response. It is that kind. Okay, so Ruby on Rail, we can't depend on that kind of means Ruby on Rail is like it is not made for like asynchronous communication application. If you have n number of applications, they need to communicate with each other asynchronously. Okay, then in that case, Ruby on Rail is not the right technology. Your Spring Boot again coming into picture. That is the right technology. So Node.js, we know that Node.js, Dino, there is a limitation on thread. Okay, Ruby on Rail, there is a limitation on asynchronous communication. Okay, then we have Flask, Django. These are for Python. Okay, if someone in the company, if like lot of Python based application, they can go for the backend like Python based. But somewhat the learning curve bit steep over there. Okay, similarly Golang is there for Go. Laravel is for PHP. Quarkus is also for PHP, ASP.NET. Each and everything. Micronaut is for like Micronaut is nowadays had got bit more popularity because it is using some 2-3 languages like it is using Kotlin. Quarkus, I think it is Kotlin. Okay, Kotlin language. But each and every means from 1 to 10, there is something or other thing as a limitation. And Spring Boot has like covered most of the advantages and the market demand. Okay, and hardly any limitation. That's why Spring Boot has got the highest popularity in today's market. And learning Spring Boot is like, means it is definitely going to add a feather in your crown as a backend developer. Or if you are like a full stack developer also, definitely it is going to help you in your career. Okay. Then the next slide is about the prerequisite, and I am very much hopeful that most of you knows all this. Core Java, where you must be knowing like what object-oriented programming, collections, streams. Then at least Java, not 17 plus feature, at least 8 plus feature you must have knowledge. You must have knowledge. You must have used Lambdas, functional interfaces. Am I correct? Can I
Yes.
believe that like you know core Java, right? Most of you. Can I get some thumbs up? Let's see how many of you are giving thumbs up. I believe all of you knows Java because I'm getting some few thumbs up among the 18 people, but that's fine. Okay. But this is one of the major, uh, it is one of the major requirement for me actually to cover this course. Okay. And you should have at least basic knowledge on database, SQL queries, JDBC connection pooling, that is fine. That I can tell you connection pooling. But database and SQL you must be knowing, right? Correct? And unmute yourself and tell me yes, no. Waiting for your response.
Yes,
Quick.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay, then we should have some wave fundamentals also, like wave fundamentals also one of the prerequisite, like HTTP methods. If not that is fine. Means I can tell you, but I hope this gate post all those things you must be knowing. If not also I'll tell you. Like maybe I can give a recap. Okay, while building the REST services, I'll tell you that. Okay, JSON also you must be knowing. And then browser server communicates, we all are familiar, right? So these are the wave fundamentals which is very much required for this course. Okay. And with the faith that you all have uh, knowledge on this, I'm going to switch to the next slide. Okay. Now the next slide is telling about like what we are going to cover in our stage one. Okay, in the stage one, we will build our fast application where you will see we will create the REST APIs. Okay, we'll create the REST APIs and where we will have our REST controller. We will have our REST controller is like going to handle our HTTP request. Then we will have our service layer, which is going to contain our business logic. Then how we will integrate that with the JPA repository, means how we will access the database using the how we will create the JPA repository there, that I'm going to tell you. Okay, and here in the first stage we will cover the Spring basic concept, core concept, which is like IOC, dependency injections, then bin lifecycle. Okay, and in the REST API we will build the REST API where we will have get, post, put, delete, response entity. How easily we can make all those different REST API. Okay, using this different HTTP method, get method, post method, put, when to use get method, post method, put method, delete method. Okay, there are like important interview question also on this. Maybe if we get time, like we can discuss on that. Okay. So this kind of means in the beginner stage, you will have the Spring core knowledge, then REST APIs, and you will build a CRUD project where we will uh, access the MySQL database using the Spring Data JPA, Spring Boot Data JPA module. Okay, and we will test it using the Postman. So this is our beginner stage. Any doubt on this? So here we are going to cover three things: Spring Core, REST API, and we will make a CRUD project. Okay. Let's move to the next slide. Now in the intermediate stage, what we are going to do over here, we will learn how means Hibernate and JPA we can use here. Means and transaction management we will do. What is transaction management? Okay, there are like very key questions are asked in the interview. So means how actually Spring Boot is helpful in terms of managing the transaction. Okay, like transaction management is like, suppose if I am withdrawing my money from one account and depositing in other account, if my withdraw service is failed, withdraw service is passed, but my deposit service is failed, then means that means the whole transaction should be failed. Okay, So that kind of management, transaction management, how Spring Boot help us to do that? That we will do here, and we will do the entity mapping, all those things. Hibernate and JPA we will cover here. Okay. Then how the API we can make secure. How the REST API we can make secure using our JWT token authentication, or means role-based access, stateless authentication. There are few authentication process we'll get to know, OAuth 2 basics, that we will cover here as part of this intermediate stage. Okay, then we will go for microservice here, where we will decompose our macro service into microservice. Then how this microservice will internally communicate each other. Okay, and then how we can make the API contracts, how the service can be auto discovered, how the service can be like how the service API gateway can be designed. All those things we will cover here in the microservice basic. And this is your uh, uh, I think sharing mode has gone. Just a minute, let me share again. Is the PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in the intermediate stage, these are the three things we are going to cover. Okay. Now next is about advanced. So here also we are going to cover most of the thing, where I will tell you like how the API gateway is. Okay, I'll tell you something about Kafka, means why the Kafka is used, how the big services we can decompose into small services, how the small services can communicate with each other, how the small services can be auto discovered, because I cannot remember the order service, what is the URL, or I cannot remember the, as a user, means the consumer application cannot remember each and every services every time, right? It should be auto discovered. So I should always use the API gateway to um, send the request, and my API gateway should be capable enough to route the request. It should have the capability to discover the service. It should route the request to the correct service and get the response, and through the API gateway my response should go to the consumer. And my services, how they can internally communicate with each other. Definitely in microservice Kafka come into picture. Okay, Kafka, that asynchronous communication actually that comes into picture. How it is important, that I will tell as part of this course. Okay, and then how the service can be deployed, how it can be Dockerized. Dockerized means you can make an image of the application, the whole enterprise application, your service. You should make a image, and that image will be deployed at the end in your cloud environment in the Kubernetes cluster. How Kubernetes cluster is help you to scale up your application. That means your application, you can see that here I have mentioned that your application should be resilient enough, observable, deployable at scale. That means downtime of, there is a zero downtime of your application. Whenever any, suppose my order service has been crashed, okay, automatically the other order service should be instantly deployed, so that there will be no downtime. Okay, at any point of time there should be order service up and running, so that whenever it needs to be accessed by the user, it should be there in the environment to serve. Okay, so, and it should be auto deployable, and there is means your service should be capable enough to come from the failover. There is no failover. Okay, so that kind of capability we can develop. Means here, as part of this course, you can go through the Spring. You will go through the Spring Cloud module. Okay, then Spring Kafka module, Docker and Kubernetes module. Then we will build, I will just build a CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins. Okay, just to build, test and deploy. Okay, that too just to give a real-time environment. So real-time feeling. So this is what I have planned for you to take you from the stage 1 to stage 3. Okay. And then the last slide is about this is the last slide. Here, this is not the part of this course. Okay. But still, I felt like as an important means Spring Boot module. Uh, just to give an overview for you, that means what is left actually. After this, you should since there is a AI demand everywhere nowadays, so you should know actually means we may plan in skill marathon as well, like to provide such courses in future. Okay, so once your Spring Boot enterprise application is ready, how we can embed the AI capability into that. Okay, means how we can integrate the OpenAI APIs, the GPT model for like text generation, some intelligent assistant, summarization. Okay, then how GitHub Copilot can be helpful for you to like suggest, accelerate your development inside your IDE. So this kind of like AI capabilities means how we can bring in our day-to-day life, or how you can your application also can be enhanced. Uh, how means it will be more user friendly using the OpenAI API. So these are the like AI capabilities we can plan in future, means which is not a part of this course, just a overview I'm giving. Okay, then Gemini Claude agent also we can add to our enterprise cloud based Spring Boot application. So this is actually what we can do in the next level. That means this is the last level, and prompt engineering. This is all last level. Okay. So this is AI and the AI integration. Spring Boot has also like one module called Spring Boot AI. Spring AI actually. Spring Boot Spring AI module is there, which will help you like to change your means to embed AI capability into your enterprise application. That is actually the last of, as I said, that the last step of this roadmap. Okay, but not part of this course. Okay, so we are just stage 1 to stage 3 what we are planning. Okay, now the next slide is like your career path. Okay, so here you can see definitely after this course, you can build the REST API, you can write your unit test case. Okay, you can contribute as a developer, you can contribute in your organization, or if you are appearing for interview also, you can like confidently appear interview on Spring Boot microservice. Okay, and as a developer, these are all the activity you can do. Like you can build REST API, you can write the unit test cases for it. Okay, you can contribute to the Spring Boot microservice project. Okay, and if you are like already working, and then as a senior engineer, next step is that as a senior engineer, you can design the services. If you have the microservice knowledge, you can design the service, you can make your service secure, you can mentor your junior, and also you can help your architect on taking architectural decision. Okay, so these are the roadmap actually. After this course, definitely these are the activity you should perform. Okay. The solution architect is the like it is a very advanced level means stuff. It needs a lot of experience. Okay. So here the solution architect means definitely like um, in future after like gaining some experience, if you when like you know the end-to-end system. Okay, the solution architect, Spring Boot solution architect, what they do, they define the system boundary. That means they know, that means how many how many services I am having, how many services I need to do. If my enterprise application will have this many services. Okay, and each services, if they are having this many instances, then my peak request can be my peak request can be served. Okay, peak time request can be served. Then which cloud pattern I should choose, or this is the something like cross team initiative. This is what the solution architect do, which is like a very like after some 10-year, 15-year one can do. So this is a career path. The third stage and the fourth stage is actually means actually AI integration. You people should know. Everyone should know how it can be integrated. Uh, but cloud architecture, they will suggest you like what kind of AI tooling to be used, or means it is the last step is the last uh, fourth, the advanced step in this career path is the AI integrated leader. So this is the career path with Spring Boot. Okay, and now the road for us, which is ahead, is like we will start with our Spring Java. You all knows, so we are not going to cover Java over here. We are going to cover the Spring Boot core and the REST services. Okay, then we will build the REST APIs, secured one using Spring Boot JPA. Okay, we will make it into microservices. That is what we are planning. Okay, we'll have our API gateway, and so which will be capable enough to route the service, which will be capable enough to means auto discover the service. All those capability will bring in our microservice, and then at the end we will make our microservice to communicate with each other using Kafka. We will deploy it in the cloud. Okay, using the image, that is Docker image. We will make Docker image in this session, and we will at last deploy it in the cloud Kubernetes environment. This is what we are going to cover here from start and build and scale. These are the three steps we are going to cover. This is the road ahead for us. But last not the least, innovation definitely in every technology is there. Okay, so Spring Boot has, I'm telling you that Spring Boot has also come up with Spring AI, since AI is in lot of demand. Okay, so Spring Boot has one module as like Spring AI, which help us to integrate our application with the AI capabilities with the LLMs. Okay, so LLM model. So those things are there, which is like there means we have to learn it once, like we are covering step 1 to step 3, that is start, build and scale. Okay, innovate is something which is a ongoing process, and you people need to learn that in later part. Okay, so this is what actually I have for today's. From tomorrow onwards, actually we have to be on ground, and we have to do our means coding and all those stuff. Okay, the project making, what all thing we need. Uh, for today, before ending the session, I would like all of you to install IntelliJ IDE in all your machines. Okay. That is something very much important. Okay. Can you thumbs up if you have IntelliJ IDE, or if you are planning for IntelliJ IDE to install? Okay, so be ready with that IDE. Okay, IntelliJ IDE. The chat I'm going to ping you all. Yes, I think IntelliJ IDE is already there in most of your machine. IntelliJ IDE, the community version you can install. And tomorrow onwards, we are going to build the project from step 1 to step 3. Okay. Yeah, that's all from my end. Akhil, are you there? I was expecting Akhil actually to join. He's the host of this lesson, but that's fine. That's fine.
Ma'am, just one question.
Yeah, sure,
Tomorrow,
sure.
tomorrow also we have to join using the same link and the same passcode.
I have no idea on that. Maybe I will check with Akhil or somebody from Skill Marathon. Okay. And I'll let you know. I'll get back on this.
Because we have downloaded Skill Marathon also, the app, but there I couldn't find any link, so I joined using the link shared in the WhatsApp.
Okay. Okay. So that I need to check actually. I'll get back on this. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me check. Yeah. That's all. So for today, we can like end up the session at here. So please be on time for the session and give your 100% commitment. I'm sure if you are committed, then definitely you will be highly benefited. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.